And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the Grisha Cast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 165. In this episode, we will be reviewing Hellbent chapters 42 through 44. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things Grishaverse.
A world created by our New Haven history professor, Lee Bardugo. Moi sabieni casters.
Hi.
Hi. Cities. We have them. Yes.
First, we have Vevey, Switzerland.
Ooh, and then we're going to Guam, Iran.
Ooh.
Thank you, listeners.
Thank you.
So, fun little fact, I just realized we sat down, started recording, and who doesn't have their copy of Hellbent? Me. And it's a little too late now. So
do you have it on your Kindle or whatever?
Right. Where's my Kindle? It's not in here.
I don't know.
It's okay. I do have
I don't have my monitor.
we will go without.
We're just...
I mean, I do have actually notes. So, I mean,
I did see that you added notes this time.
I know. I was impressed with myself. I gave myself some props for that one. Yes. So, anyways, this will be, as usual, a fun adventure for you all, and see where this takes us.
Don't play with us.
So, first off, I think I'm just really excited. Since you're listening to this podcast, you probably love books. I feel like there's been this time of the year is something I've been waiting for because there's these different books that I was waiting to come out, and they finally are starting. Tuesday's the big day, like when books get published or come out, and there's just I got one of them already, which is by J.L., and I've been really excited for this one. And it's The House of Marion. And I was really excited about it. Melissa Albert, who we interviewed, she had a review on this and thought it was great. It just, it's one of those books that says ball gowns and betrayal, magic and mystery, decadence and darkness. All the things I love. Like
Eric's in.
It's just, yes. And then the other two books that I cannot wait that are coming out in September is the conclusion to Stephanie Garber's Once Upon a Broken Heart. I can't wait. And then also our re-entry into those of you that love the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. We're finally going back to the Londons. I know, I'm talking to you and you have no clue what I'm talking about, Terry. But
it's all right.
It's so exciting because that was the first series after the series that shall not be named that I did love. And it was the first thing that actually grasped my attention, and I really got into it. It was just really hard to find something because at that time that was really good, and I really loved it, and I was trying to find something very similar, but different. And Victoria Schwab, her Darker Shade of Magic trilogy is incredible. And she, many years later, has decided to bring us back to that world, and she's writing 3 more, and I'm really excited about it. I think Alden would love it. I really think he would. And it's adult. It's definitely, I don't know whether it's adult or young, what it's considered, but the writing's really good. It's very different. And the cool thing about her books is you can one trilogy and then read something else she wrote, and she's very all over the place.
Yeah.
But she's written some very incredible books. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which got huge, everybody's heard of that. That was the latest book she came out with. And anyways, I'm so excited for books.
Books.
Hey, I know. Books.
It's a very busy time of the year, on my end, it's all the music. One of my favorite bands had an album drop last night at midnight.
Ooh.
There's another one. My favoriteest band ever has a new album next week on the 7th.
And which one is your favoritist?
Dead Poet Society.
Okay. So their album
one I have
drops
the tattoo.
So they have an entire album dropping next week.
Yes, on Thursday. And it's about time because their last one was 2019.
Okay.
But they've been on tour nonstop since then. So on the 17th, they dropped like a hint, like a piece of a song. I've heard one of the songs, so
of course you have,
because I'm special.
You are.
And then on the 8th, that's actually Alden's birthday, and so he's skipping school, and we're going to a DPS show because he really likes them as well. And so the album is dropping the day before they play here, and so I'm just
so where are they playing?
Dying.
Here?
I don't remember, but they're opening for Nothing More.
So they're coming back to Nashville.
Yes.
Do they still
on the 8th?
Do they still have tickets?
Yeah. They're opening. They're not like headlining.
That's fine. I still want to.
So, but we're gonna be there all day long, like we do.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, I want to go. Yeah.
But you would have to come early with us, though.
Well, it's a Friday, so when I got off work, I'd be able to.
Well, we'll talk about that. Because people aren't gonna
be okay with.
Yeah. But so I'm excited to see them again because it's been a minute, and then we're going to also travel to Atlanta because they're headlining in Atlanta.
That's exciting.
A couple weeks after that. But also my favorite local band. My favorite song of theirs, they said they were going to scrap it because they wanted to go in a different direction. And I was like cussing them. I was cussing them so hard because I'm like, you don't even understand. That's your best song.
You're talking about Kid Pastel, right?
Yes, Kid Pastel. I'm like, that's your best song. Why are you doing that? And he was like, no, we're not doing it. So he just gave me the demo of it so I would have it for my personal use. And then I get on Instagram and they have changed some of the lyrics and recorded it and posted it on Instagram. And I sat there with my mouth open because I was so excited. And I messaged them immediately. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they were excited that I heard it. They were like, we were wondering if you were going to see this. So yeah, they listened to me.
That's awesome.
But anyway, all the new music that's coming out and all the concerts coming up. The band that sings my anthem is coming in just a few weeks. And I have pure gay panic around her all the time. So that's exciting.
Who is that you're referring to?
Rivals.
Okay. Haven't heard.
They sing Dark Matter, which is my personal anthem.
Okay.
So there's a lot going on in this world. And I don't have the time and money to keep up with everything. And Des Rocks, which is Alden's favorite artist, just released a new album. So we've been listening to that. It's been crazy.
It's exciting. I'm excited because I did get to see when you took me to Dead Poet Society. That was just such a big, amazing night because that was my first time getting out, I think, since COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just I still remember it. I loved it and how I was so excited. And yeah, I would love to see them again. But we're not going to plan that on the podcast.
No,
but
we'll talk about that.
We will talk about it.
But Royal Blood, the band that you saw,
yes.
Yeah,
oh my god,
just last night they released their new album. So
that's so it's so weird thinking about so when you were talking, I remember when we were getting older. When we were growing up, CDs and albums, they came out on specific, I believe it's actually the same as the books. They came out was it Monday? It was Monday or Tuesday. There was I can't remember now, but there's a specific day that all albums came out on. And I remember you could go to Tower Music at midnight and actually get it. Do you know?
Stand in line.
Yeah.
Or Sam Goody. Or
yes.
Yeah.
Tower Music was the one that stayed open.
They stayed open,
the
yeah.
latest.
On West End
Do you
there.
remember what day that was?
My brain said Thursday, but I don't know. It's been too long.
I know. It was one of those.
I've slept a billion times since then.
So I think it's what's changed so much with music is now there isn't that. Music just comes out people
Yeah.
there isn't a specific.
And they can just they just release singles whenever, or
Yep.
hey, I just wanted to play around in my room and here's this song. So, but I also find it absolutely fascinating. Alden posted a thing on Instagram of the bracelets that he had made that were all Des Rocks, and Des Rocks liked it and commented on it, whatever. And I was just like, if we were 15 and we had that access to our favorite artists like that, it's insane that he just has that access.
Right.
To it's amazing.
I agree. It's really incredible. It's to be able to interact with other people, find other people that like the same stuff.
Yeah.
And easily, but to be able to actually talk to the people that you just, especially artists and authors, and especially when they comment and remark back, it's wow, it's just
the story I posted on Instagram where it was my on repeat from Spotify, and I tagged the artists on there. They every single one of them liked it and messaged me, and we didn't have that growing up. So what a crazy thing to live through, as you're younger, and getting into music and having it's amazing.
Our listeners understand that, because I know that if you're a Grishaverse fan, then and you do all the artwork and things like that, posting it on Instagram, Lee remarks and she likes different stuff that what I love about Lee is also she doesn't do it to she does make sure she can't see everything, but if she likes something, she makes sure to let you know, and it makes you feel it's just kind of special. And I love that our fans have that access to Lee. It's not just
books and authors in general.
Exactly.
It's crazy. It's I don't know. It's so different. I can't imagine growing up having that.
Oh my God.
Access.
I thought about if I had a cell phone when I was in high school, texting and things that would have been bad.
It would have. You got into a lot of trouble without it.
Exactly. I figured out ways around, so if there was a way to text somebody, hey, oh my God. And for those of you our young audience that probably has no clue what we're talking about, it's just, we didn't have cell phones. So you had a landline. And if I wanted to talk to somebody late at night, I would have to tell them, okay, call me at the specific time. And I would call the weather line, which you guys have no clue what that is, but that was a telephone. That was a phone number that you could call that would tell you your weather. And I would sit there and listen to that until it beeped through. And then the house phone would not ring and wake up my parents.
322-3000 or something like that.
It was something incredibly
Lots of threes,
easy.
Yeah. But you would pick it up so that your friend would call and it wouldn't actually call.
Exactly. It wouldn't ring.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wake up the house.
Wake up your parents.
And it was the way to talk on the phone without and oh my Lord. And I used to sneak out all the time,
Eric was trouble.
I was. And
I was I was an angel. I don't know what kind of trouble you were getting into.
Whatever. Yes. So
we got into different kinds of trouble.
We did get in different kinds of trouble. But what's amazing, I think, is the fact that I never got caught sneaking out. And I had to tell my parents, when I was an adult, hey, that's how Chris and I met. The very first time we
You're
met.
You're telling on yourself.
Oh, they know that. I don't but it's just, I had that down to a science. I still can't believe it. And
yeah, my dad traveled all the time for work, and my mom was basically deaf. So it was really easy.
See, my dad traveled around a lot too, but I still did it when he was there, and, like, that was, like and it was hard because, like, to sneak like, their bedroom door was always wide open, and I'd have like, to get out, I'd have to, like, make sure, like, I'd have to wait for the air to go on. So, like, that, like, was some kinda, like, noise going on, but I either went through the basement, which was the trickier one because that door was a lot closer to their bedroom, but going out the front door, yeah, I don't know. I had it down and I just never got I can't believe it.
We don't condone these actions.
We don't, but have fun, and, you only
Do
live
what
once.
you want. Be
Exactly.
safe.
Ugh.
Be safe
Yes, do. Be safe.
in all aspects. Be safe.
So,
Listen to your parents.
yeah. Um,
Us.
right. So, there is a show that Chris and I have started that I just want to bring up to you because, like, I find it's fascinating, but it's like the first time I've ever watched something like on TV that like because it has to do with addiction, but it actually bothered like it brings back some
Did
of
it
the
trigger
because it's
you?
yes because I've never seen anything that is this like realistic. It's the show called Painkiller on Netflix. It is done extremely well. I recommend everybody to watch it just for educational purposes, although it is very interesting. It's about the how OxyContin like came around. Like, I mean, that drug itself and like the people that created it and everything around that. And like what's funny is like the years that like these things were happening I mean, it was like it's 1999 and 2000 and things like that. Like, I mean, they went to like court in like
Yeah.
2001. Like, I I don't know. I just like I didn't know all this stuff was going on, but it's crazy how all opiates are. It's the same thing. It's the poppy leaf and like,
Mm-hmm.
um, but how many people died from OxyContin itself,
Yeah.
and how messed up it was, and because and I've just learned so much from it. Some of it I knew because it's just this it's a crazy if you don't know anything about OxyContin, it's just it's extremely strong painkiller that like I mean, they pretty much turned into you don't it's not just for cancer if
It's
you're
highly addictive.
yeah,
Highly, highly addictive.
exactly. And it was used only for like if you're dying or have cancer. Like I mean, that's what it was used for.
They're like, here, take this for 2 weeks and then stop. And then when you stop, you're like, oh my God, I can't stop.
They changed it into something that everyday people with everyday pain could take. And the one thing that's really messed up about it is when they actually did finally get the FDA to approve it, like it was approved for like 12 hours. Well, OxyContin didn't last 12 hours. So it's like it was a recipe to create addicts.
Yeah.
If
And
you
the
have-
more you take it, the smaller amount of time because you become tolerant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting show. We have one episode left. There's 6 episodes. The person that Ferris Bueller is in it.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, and he does an incredible job of playing a really creepy old man. But
It's an older show. Like it's been out for like
It
a
just came-
couple years, but Netflix just
Painkiller?
yeah.
Really?
Because there was another place that was I remember the advertisements for it,
Okay,
like
because
the trailers for it.
I didn't know because I thought like it just like I mean had come out on Netflix because it just got dropped on Netflix not that long ago. So I thought that was something that they created, but it's a very realistic.
That says
show.
August 10th, 2023. Maybe there
maybe
was
something
another one.
Yeah, and there are a lot of shows that are similar to this.
Yeah.
but it is never.
There was another one with OxyContin that they
Was there?
Yeah. Anyway.
It's very hard for me to watch it. It's just like I literally like a couple nights ago we were watching an episode and I had to leave. I was like, Chris, I can't finish the rest of this with you. I was like, I'll finish it tomorrow night, but like it was just too much was happening. Like it's done very well and I just can't believe, like, I mean, the realistic thing, how much realism? I don't know. It's just like down to the fact that, like, I mean, chopping up the pills, snort, like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's crazy.
Dope Sick.
Yeah.
Dope Sick is the
Oh,
other from
yes.
2021 with Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's on Hulu.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. So I had heard of that. I hadn't watched that one, but
I don't watch any of those.
really,
No. I've had enough.
I think I was telling Chris last night, it's important, like, it's uncomfortable. I'm definitely learning things about it that I didn't know, but it's important for me to keep doing this because I need to remember, because I mean, I know we both had, like, I had a lot of really big issues with this stuff. So,
Mhm.
like, it's important for me to see things like this. And the fact that it does make me feel so uncomfortable is a good thing because it reminds me. And it's just another reminder of, like, how far I've come, where I am, and where I can be in an instant as well.
Yeah.
I was telling that to my mom actually last night because she saw it pop up on Netflix and was asking about it. And we got in the conversation about addiction. And I was just like, well, it's important just because, I mean, yeah, I mean, I can be there in an instant again. It's very easy for someone that, if you've stayed clean from drugs and different things for so long, for you to all of a sudden think, well, it's been so long, it'd be okay. It won't hurt for me just to have one. And then, but that's the disease of addiction. And that's not what this podcast is about. So thank you for letting me be on my little soapbox. Love you all. Stay sober or be responsible.
Be safe.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun, you're definitely allowed to. But if you have addiction issues, be careful. And
Yes.
yes. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, we should probably get to the podcast. What do you think?
Probably.
Okay. So, we're almost done. Like,
Oh my gosh. It's
like
crazy.
I know, and
We're going to be finished next week.
I know I'm having so much fun reading it
Yeah.
because it's just, you know me. I don't remember any of it. So,
There was definitely one part that I forgot. And where I was
Really?
like, oh.
in this section,
Yeah.
which part?
The Aton part.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, did I forget that? Like, did I catch that the first time?
I
How
don't.
did I forget that?
I think when you're
It's a pivotal point, but it
It
also
is.
goes very, very fast.
it's very fast.
It's like a couple sentences fast.
It is.
Yeah.
It's super, super fast. And I think if you're reading a book that you're just came out and you're super excited about it,
And you're trying to race through it.
there are definitely
Yeah.
like you're not catching everything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really enjoying this, because it's a reread. Like, it's like, oh,
And
okay,
we're reading intentionally.
I'm catching it all.
Yeah.
It's all like actually clicking and making sense. This section definitely, like, I mean, we're at our pivotal point here. I mean,
Mhm.
and what trip? This is the third descent.
Uh,
I mean, well, if you could, like, I mean, not
For-
descent. Sorry, second descent going to hell.
it's the second full descent, but Alex went. This is Alex's third or fourth time because
Right.
she went through her own portal.
Are you talking
to
about in Ninth
grab-
House? Or are you talking?
No, it was like literally like
Oh.
last week where
Okay.
she went through the portal and put Darlington's soul into her.
That's right.
And exited.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We're going back and forth so much. These like trips to hell. I mean,
I know.
whew, I feel like
This part of the book is like, there's a lot happening.
there is.
Yeah.
So one question that I have that I think is really kind of fun, and I thought about it today, is what title would you take if you were going on the descent? So like soldier, scholar, priest, or prince?
Priest.
Yeah. Right. For those of yeah.
I'm so happy that you didn't, because I was like, if you believe me when I say that, you're not my best friend.
There is no effing way I would like I didn't want to call you out, but I was just like, Yeah, you are definitely not the priest.
Okay, so I would say it's between soldier and scholar.
That's what I would pick for. Like, I definitely see you as. I see you a lot as soldier.
I
Definitely.
yeah,
I think you could, and that's another thing. Like all of these have incredible attributes.
and
It's
there's
just
like
what you're strong at.
interpretations too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just what are you strongest at? Like, I
Mhm.
mean, and what do you think? Because I mean, this go around in the descent, like I mean, the prince changed it. We did have Darlington is the prince this descent,
Yeah,
but
which
before
makes sense. I
it,
think
I think so
it's
too.
fitting.
It is very fitting.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we still haven't found poor
Trip, like
Trip.
where'd he go?
I know he gone.
We only have like 3 chapters left. Like, come on, Trip.
What's funny, I don't remember this entire book, but I remember what happened to Trip. Though I actually remember this, and we're not there yet. But
Yeah, he's been gone for a long time though.
he has been. He's like, I mean, it's been a while. I feel like
Several episodes. Never mind. I was gonna say it reminds me of something in Outlander, but like literally nobody else has any idea. I'm like, it reminds me of that time when Jimmy was stuck in the cave. But yeah, moving on.
It's well, I love it. Okay, so I want to think. When I first looked at these, about thinking about what I didn't even think about what title I would be. I just thought it was a fun question to think about.
Yeah.
And definitely to ask. Because I'm trying, like, I definitely would not be the soldier. Like, that would definitely not fit me. I think I'm a little too ditzy to be the scholar. I don't think I would be the priest. But the prince sounds fun.
I would totally put you as Prince.
As I like just went through, I was like, you know what? Yeah, the prince
Yeah.
kind of sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really seem like he's got a big job, does he? I mean, just aside.
So far, no, not really. And he's like the first one to like stop and like
Yeah,
smack his blood up on the thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is this also is a pivotal moment because if any of you went to any of Lee's meet and greets for Hellbent, we get told the story of the Phantom Ship. And Lee, when I saw her for this book signing, that was a big. She told us a story. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was really kind of cool because you hadn't read it yet, but she told us the story of the Phantom Ship and how it is a real, like, actually, like, I mean, it's a real thing. You can look it up. It's heavily documented. It sounds crazy and insane, but in a nutshell, New Haven like had a ship go out and with all its townspeople, and it was supposed to come back, and it didn't. And a year to the date when it came back, like I mean, they saw it at least.
Mm-hmm.
The whole town saw it. And then they saw it pretty much like, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it caught on fire and was sinking, and like this whole like people were jumping off board, but it actually was one of the biggest phenomenons because it was a huge mass hallucination that all these different people saw, and that sounds crazy to me.
It does sound crazy.
I didn't think that was like when Lee said that and told the story. I was like I trust Lee, and like she's telling me like that, like that's
but she sounds a little crazy right
like,
now.
that's it. Just sounds nuts that could actually happen. Like a whole like a mass hallucination. Like all these different people are seeing the same thing. It's crazy.
That's very strange.
It is. But if you look it up, it really is. Like I mean, there's a lot of documentation on it. You do have to look up specifically Phantom Ship New Haven though. Because when she said you just have to look up Phantom Ship, and I was getting all these different other things at first. So just make sure to look up the New Haven part. But anyways, neat.
I liked Mercy as they're having their first conversation, like in the beginning of this reading, and Alex is feeling a lot of like guilt for a lot of stuff in this section of the
Yeah.
reading. And she's feeling guilty for Mercy being a part of all this now. And Mercy basically tells her, like, quote, better than what I was living before, better than a world without magic.
Yeah.
And I loved that because she's like, I've been waiting for this. Like, you don't understand. I've been waiting my whole life. So she's basically telling Alex, like, thank you though for like
Right.
bringing me. This is scary, heavy stuff, but like she is super excited because
Ex-
it's the magical world that she's been waiting for.
exactly. I love the line she uses too. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, I mean, and I relate to that. It's like, it's my God, how cool would it be to like discover magic and things like that?
If like your fairies like came to visit you and were like, "Hey, we're
oh
real,"
my God, like,
and then
yes.
and then they were like, "Nope, sorry, go back to your real life."
Yeah,
You're like,
no.
no.
Absolutely not. It's really cool, and I love that. Like, it's just very relatable too.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like Alex, we've gotten to know this character very well, but for some reason, like, I feel like where we are now, like, her character really is very, like, I mean, it's very, I understand her more than I think. Like, it's just, we've gone on this really big arc of learning about her.
Yes.
But where she is right now, as you just said, like, she's starting to feel like kind of like bad because she's starting to like put two and two together and how
Yeah.
she's affected people's lives. But she's also like going down that rabbit hole of she's blaming
Pun intended.
herself. Exactly. She's not the cause of people, like everyone's like, I mean, people make their own decisions and
Yeah.
choices, and she's going down that rabbit hole of like blame game. And
Yeah. Like there's this shift in her right now
she's
because before it was like, yeah, I'm a baddie.
right.
That's just how it is. And that's just, what I was given. So screw it. But like now there's this like shift to where she wants to, I think, be a better person.
Yeah.
But you have to go through that fight before you get there with yourself of
Yeah.
like, I have to atone for what I've gone through. And it's better off if these people would just leave me
Right.
because like, look at all the destruction that I've caused for my own selfish gain, for me just trying to survive, I think, as she said.
Yeah.
So it is very relatable. I
Yeah.
think we all kind of go through that as we're growing up.
Absolutely. I mean,
Not quite to that extent because we all haven't done the things that she's done.
right.
But yes, it's relatable on like different levels.
Because I definitely think, like, I mean, I don't think that her actions are selfish. I think I see how people can see that, but it's more about, like, I mean, we all are just, it's about survival.
Mhm.
And we all are trying to do that.
Mhm.
I mean, we all, like, I mean, that's what we try to do. And it's just, everybody's put in different situations. And she's been a very tough character. And I think I find it just very like I don't know. It's real. I think it's brilliant writing for us at this point to be able to kind of almost see behind the curtain of her character. Like, she's always had this very big wall up.
Yeah.
And like, sure, we've been able to like get behind it because we're reading as her. But I feel like we're starting to even see, like, I mean, there are some like it's vulnerability there. That's
Mhm.
the word I needed. And RuPaul loves vulnerability. Just want to let you know, if you're up for Drag Race, you have to be vulnerable to be RuPaul's next drag superstar. So Alex, you're getting your vulnerability on. So you definitely don't need to go do Drag Race. Really weird combination there. Yep. Okay. This is what happens when I start talking and thinking at the same time. This is the problem.
Your brain did
It did.
a thing.
But I'm just really appreciating, I think it's the story.
Yeah.
It's building up, but also the writing is like, I mean, we've said this all the time. It's really amazing to watch Lee's writing, how well it's evolved, and just how tricky she is too. I mean, the thing, you don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So So you have to remember, I don't have the book in front of me. So
I'm trying to like not look at my book so that we're on like an even playing field. I have a note about Darlington being a snob because that cracked me up
that was really funny.
when they're going through and he's like, "Really?"
Yeah, and I meant to look.
It means light and truth.
Okay, because I have an app actually that can.
So I wonder if that's kind of like the
Light.
magic realm of like live, laugh, love. You know what I mean? And he was just like, "Really, light and
Eat,
truth."
pray, love. Sorry. Yes, it is. He is being.
But yeah, the fact that he like had to pause to
Yes, because this is
comment on it.
it's his first time walking through the gauntlet. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fascinating to think about.
And at the same time, Dawes can now read Hellish.
Right, which is really cool. Hellish. That is the new language.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
Get it on
hellish.
Duolingo. Wow. I love it. So this is a fascinating part because I think if we remember where we left off, I just kind of remembered Alex did some kind of planning, but we didn't really know what it was. Remember, like the
Yeah.
last episode, like there was all this weird sneaky stuff. She calls
called
Adon,
Adon, yeah.
and it was like, and calls her mom, and it's like, okay,
Because we talked about how she had a plan that we don't even
we have
know
no
about.
clue
Yeah.
exactly. So, one thing that like I think is just kind of neat is like before they did walk the gauntlet, it's the finishing of it. It's the Pierre the Weaver. Okay, like I believe that it's a really weird 3 words, I know, but I think that's they're calling the needle that they use to bring up the spiders.
Yeah, because they talked about that.
Had they talked about it before?
Yeah.
Okay, because I completely forgot about it, so I was just like, I
Because
think
you're reading too much.
Yeah, I know. So that's okay.
But no, they like barely touch on it. We did talk about it, but it's one of those like it was very quick
Okay.
where Darlington was like he found it in the book and then Dawes was like, "Oh my gosh." And they both were like, "Pierre the Weaver."
Okay, so it's a part like it's not one of the things at the end of the chapters where we learn about different objects.
No.
Okay, well, no wonder I didn't. Yeah, okay. I love the fact that when she introduces Pierre the Weaver, that she throws in the like it's almost like she's being in a fairy tale because it's Sleeping
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah.
I love it.
But the spiders, like,
Yeah, this is,
ugh.
and
No, thank you.
it's so weird. Like I was trying to understand, like, so these first off, there's a sack,
Ugh.
and then all these baby spiders come out, and from what I'm understanding, they're all climbing on top of every
It
single one
gives
of them.
me the heebie-jeebies.
Right.
And Darlington let them bite you. Like this happened so quickly that I'm like, what do you mean? What? So like they put their hand on like the thing
Right.
and let the spiders like
Crawl all over
and
them.
bite the crap out of themselves, and then
And the spiders are like, they're baby spiders specifically. So
Yes.
I'm better with that, to be honest. I'm
No.
better with baby spiders than big
no.
spiders.
Have you ever?
I hate spiders, but
Have you ever? I'm gonna try to get through this without
Please don't
gagging and
vomit.
retching. Had a big mama spider
no.
where you like whack it with a broom or something to get
Nope.
it out,
No.
and it had 800,000 babies on it, and the babies just go
No, I would pass out. I would
But
be
you
crying.
can't pass out because there's millions.
No, I have never seen that. I don't ever want to see that. Do not ever mention that ever again. Please don't tell me that's a real thing.
It is.
Okay. No.
I've lived it.
No. Mm-mm.
It was
Ugh.
in my kitchen.
No. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Moving on.
These spiders are creating something though with the little like, their glue, their butt glue. And it's Darlington's trying to explain something like it's about joy. Like, I mean, demons like joy as much as
Yes. So they basically that it's any
any kind of emotion.
strong emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
But they supposedly practiced something the night before with these. I just didn't understand this. I was like, to be completely honest, I was like, okay, like this is something new. This is something part of this descent that they have to do. I think it definitely has to do with the fact of like, it's I just think I got it. I think it's what attracts the demons to them
Yeah.
to be able to get into the gauntlet and bring them back. So I think
They're like enticing.
yeah,
them.
because
Yeah.
the demons wouldn't know that they were there. They need them to get back into the gauntlet. So, wow, look at that. I think that's what it is. I don't know, maybe not, but still weird.
It is weird.
Um,
But this time when they were talking about the descent into hell and all the fingers and everything else, my brain recalled the memory of the labyrinth. Do you remember where she's falling down and it's all the hands?
yes. It's very like that always makes me think of Alice in Wonderland.
That was the
but,
image
yeah.
that I got this time around.
Yeah. It's I see it very like I mean last time it was like the way it was described it was almost very just like couldn't breathe. It was just like very like there was a lot of cuz she said how she could taste the hands that were in her mouth and
Yeah.
stuff like this. But this time it's a little like
It was very like violating.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, and we can't forget that also and I think I don't know, maybe this is where it is. Babbitt Rabbit. This is
where so like when she falls into hell last time it's where everybody had their murder moment.
Yes.
And this time she's just like back at ground zero. And
it's during it's weird.
And back in with Helly and Lynn and all of them.
It's a
like
memory.
she never left. Like she's walking in the door with groceries.
Yep.
Just like everything's normal.
Yep, it's totally a memory that she's back in. And
but we hear more about Babbitt Rabbit. We actually like hear the story about like how Babbitt Rabbit comes to be.
Yep.
They see it at like a pet store and Alex has like a very heavy emotion towards this thing, like instant love, and Helly's like, yeah, I get it. So they take it home and they play with it and love it and
it's sad.
And then in this instance, I don't know if like this is what happened in reality or if this is just what happened now, but
I think it's what happened in reality. I think because everything that and the only reason I say that is just because I think from the Last Descent it was a memory of the past. It was specifically about so I think I don't know what everybody else is going through, but it's some kind of I feel like it's some kind of strong memory.
I was confused because I didn't know what like Anselm, like if he was mucking with her brain. But basically like they let a dog play with the rabbit and the rabbit dies. And the way they describe it is absolutely disgusting.
It is.
It's disturbing. And they talk about how she goes on like Mulholland Drive and has her moment and cries and everything. It's very sad.
I feel like she's distraught in this moment because I mean, the rabbit she like cared about, but also Helly's part in it. So like Helly, when she came home, she mentions how like Helly was acting kind of weird that day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say it in there, but like to me, I'm getting the vibes that Helly was extremely messed up. Like, I mean, like high.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like that. And
because she says that she's sitting on the Papasan chair, just like out of it and like not really looking at her and not like saying anything with any sort of emotion. She's just like, yeah.
And the fact that also Helly let this happen makes me think that even more. Because I mean, it's stupid, and it's also like, and then the boys, like, I mean, the stuff that they say, like, I mean, especially when they first get Babbitt Rabbit, and like how verbally abusive and disgusting they are towards women. And just like, I mean, I felt like I really could feel what kind of living situation she was in.
Yeah.
And like how disgusting, like it was just one of those like really nasty, horrible places that you really don't have any other options. Like it
But we
sucked.
also learn at that point that Helly does have other options.
Right.
That like she's there voluntarily.
She's like the golden beacon of all of them. Like, and
she's got parents who have money. Yeah.
I think and that's why I think it's just like she's heavily addicted to some drugs. Like, I mean, that it's, yeah. Because, I mean, that stuff will make you, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like Babbitt Rabbit is like mutilated. I do actually appreciate the fact that Alex is not mad at the dog at all. I mean, and completely understands that, like, I mean, it's the humans that let the dog play with a rabbit that are to blame.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dog, I do like that the dog's name is Loki. I
had a cat named Loki.
Did you?
Yeah.
Anyways, this brings up a lot for her because I know that, like, I mean, when she goes to like Barry or whatever, Helly doesn't come with her, which is a huge thing. She sat in the car wanting Helly to come and she didn't. But before we end up realizing that she's actually already in the descent because she starts to see like, and we realize we're not really in, like, we're in a memory, but in hell as well. She is having thoughts of pretty much like suicide. Like she's wanting to run her car, like, I mean, drive her car into, like, I mean, just, so this is a very, like, it's a big moment that has brought up some very painful stuff for her. So I think from the outside, it looks, obviously there's a lot of stuff tied into this rabbit. Like, it seems like the only joy that she had almost, like, and the rabbit is, on the cover. It's a huge, it's
big enough that it's on the cover of the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and then she starts to see people. She starts to come out of her memory, or realizing that she's actually, it's 2 and 2. She's in hell in the memory.
And okay, so the Anselm is a
rabbit.
Rabbitosaur.
Yes,
what's it called?
A rabosaurus.
What's it called when you're a half horse, half minotaur?
Yeah.
So a rabbitar.
He is definitely.
He's a rabbitar.
It scares me thinking about what this was like. I'm sorry, but
it makes me think of the White Rabbit and Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
But to me, I think of a terrifying, like, huge version. Like, I mean, I guess I think of mine as the size of Godzilla. Like, that's
okay.
I know. So that's a horrifying big rabbit. I do find it weird that the rabbit also is wearing Anselm's clothes, but then seems to be morphing back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, this part it's interesting. Just a lot happens really quickly. We don't know what the plan is, but we learn that Anselm, we still are confused about this wheel walker, but apparently Anselm, it's a big, powerful thing to be a wheel walker, and that we learn about the descent that happened before them that created the gauntlet. And this is where it's just like so much is going on. It's kind of like So
we learned that the reason why they can't find proof of anyone else making this descent is because it was hidden as part of like a deal that was struck. And other societies were doing this and were exchanging for like money, fame, talent, influence, and
everything they have.
Yeah. That's where all this like money and those like crazy artifacts and all this stuff is coming from. And then so Alex has this like Lethe has allowed this to go on. And that's why these things haven't been stopped. And that's why these things are like continuing on, because this is where they're getting everything. Yep. And Anselm basically says, we've done it on our end because we've been waiting for a wheel walker. Like that's like the pinnacle of like
the soul they want.
That's like what we want. and Daisy has been eating them all.
So
So we have been waiting forever.
yeah. He's like, he's a little pissed. He's like, I didn't know that was going to take this long. And Alex is like, oh, well, Daisy got in your way because
Daisy just decided to have a wheel walker snack.
she just preferred wheel walkers. So she
Yeah.
ate all of yours.
And he's like, yeah, and you made it through. So we want you.
And he didn't notice, like, there still is this huge question of, and it drives me nuts, of what a wheel walker is. Like, I mean, we don't really know. Like, I mean, there's no, like, definition yet. Like, we know that she can go through different worlds and things like that. But, I mean, there's just, when Anselm's describing it, like, it's like, you're so powerful. I didn't know you were as powerful as you were until you took Darlington pretty much out of hell, and then you were able to, like, I don't know.
It's the ability to walk through all these dimensions.
I feel like there's more to it.
There might be, but like where we are right now,
well,
because
right.
they held up the card, they explained the card,
Yeah.
and that she could make her own portal at any time. So basically, she can walk through all the dimensions currently.
Right. I get that. I guess like, I'm like,
You want more?
I do. I guess I'm just not satisfied. I'm like poor Daisy, just not satisfied. I just need more. There's more to this wheel walker thing. But
so they also apparently last night practiced this play.
yeah, which is, I think, well done. I mean,
and they were like, Darlington sucks as an actor.
They're trying to trick a demon, which is not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no, I'll stay. No, I'll stay. I can't let you stay.
And Turner's even like part of it, which I think. But this whole plan actually is absolutely brilliant, I think. When you actually see what's going on, and yet again, it happened very quickly. I do not think I caught this the first time I read it.
No.
Like, I do not think I caught all of this.
I know I didn't at least take it in.
No, and you're right. The Aton part, like, definitely not. It finally, like, it's so much, like, Turner is putting on this like, Darlington and Alex are fighting, as you said, over who's going to stay.
Yeah.
Anselm saying, we don't want Darlington.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we need somebody to stay, but we want you, Alex. And
hell's price must be paid.
And you must stay here. And they also, like, have this really weird, don't they all start to see what their life would be like if
all is well.
If
yes, they start seeing, like,
if Alex does stay there.
Yes, because that was the exchange.
Right.
If they leave Alex, then hell is going to give them everything they ever wanted in life.
And so will Alex, apparently, because he says that. I listened to that a couple times. I'm like, really? So, like, hell is not.
And Darlington is telling her, no, that's not true. I think because
he knows.
He lived that.
Right.
Because he was at Black Elm, but he was obviously having to, like, constantly rebuild or, like, move things, whatever.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, it's a lie. That is such a lie. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get those things.
There's a lot that I feel like this is also all in one chapter, which makes it even more confusing.
Yeah.
Because, like,
it's all within, like, a couple pages.
And we're going in between people's minds. Like, because, I mean, everybody's having this, like, Turner's becoming president of something. I don't know. He's got his wife. I mean,
his brother and...
you know, and then Dawes is feeling confident and baking and cooking for everyone. And Alex is seeing what... Hers is the interesting one, because hers is... Helly didn't die.
Yeah.
But she did. And, like, her mom's, like, has this yoga class, and Helly's like, oh, does Myra do tarot? I don't know. I just found it really weird. It was just this.
So Alex is living as a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I found interesting that they use the word ghost and not gray.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's something there. Like, what, like, Lee's Lee has used the word gray every single time.
And
If-
then she says, so this is
and
what it's like
to
living
be
like a ghost. Yeah.
Exactly. So weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, to tie everything together, Aton happens to be trying to deal with Mercy.
Yeah.
And this is where I think it gets brilliant.
Yeah.
Alex pretty much like, God, I don't like, how do you even start? Like, I mean, she's
Well, Alex had said basically like, F you, I'm not going to work for you anymore because
Right.
she knew that he was going to come find her.
Yep.
And he did.
Yep.
Kind of. So Mercy
has her phone so he
has-
could locate.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
That was another like very quick little thing.
She has Datura, which I had to kind of like remember. I know we had read about it before.
And we looked it up.
But like, whoa, what are we doing here? But that is that oil that helps him get to somehow has some kind of way of transporting their soul.
So like as he's kind of falling out of his body, she pulls his soul in
to hell.
Through hell. Yeah.
This is Aton.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about who Lee does a great job of also describing that he's wearing a chai. And I am envisioning this entire time. And I love Alex is just so funny because Alex is like, here's your murderer. And like,
see ya.
Yeah. And all the Aton says is like, whore. And she's like, I got called worse at Rite Aid. Like, what a line.
But yeah, she basically just dumps
Aton
Aton's soul into hell. And she's like, peace out.
Deuces. And Aton like tries to grab her and she's like, yeah, just come with me. Let's see what it's like being in our world. And apparently he doesn't stay a hold of her and they all end up out of the gauntlet.
Yeah, she does her little blue flame thing and
yeah. And Aton now.
And bye-bye, Aton.
God. I don't know if they keep kosher Aton in hell.
I doubt it.
I really do. He's probably going to be like, and he is strict. So, I mean, he does celebrate the Shabbos.
Part of hell is probably going to be just like shoveling pork like down his throat.
Yes. And like listening to music or driving a car on Shabbos.
Getting tattoos.
Forever. It's never, it won't stop. God. Never. Oh God. Probably sitting through like, I don't know.
Amy Grant's Christmas
on repeat. Like, but at the Ryman, he's like there live.
At the Ryman,
not listening to the CD. He is just front row. Even like has a guest appearance and has to sing like some kind of Christmas carol with Amy Grant. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Our producer just told me to shut up. I mean, not shut up. He told me to calm down because I was getting a little too excited. But that was really funny in our head.
That was hilarious.
So I really love Aton in this high.
Yes.
And this is gonna
good luck to him.
Yes, good luck, Aton. It is not going to be easy down there. No. But
that's it.
That is it.
That's where we left off.
That's where we left it. Yeah. And we will be back next week.
Yes.
Although we say that all the time and you never know. We'll just be
don't
back
know anymore. We do what we want.
But we're just going to finish out the book.
Uh-huh.
So, and I know and Lee, so there's going to be, it might seem like it's over, but there is still.
And this isn't the last book.
It's not.
In the series, so.
And that's what's actually kind of frustrating. We haven't heard any news about it.
Well, of course not.
Well, I know, but usually there's the only thing that she has recently, and like she actually did post something on Instagram, is she wrote the intro, it's surprising, but not surprising. She wrote the intro to a new book that I guess came out about the Avengers.
Uh-huh.
Because she's all about, and I can't tell whether it's an actual book or if it's like maybe like one of those graphic novels.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
But
saw the post.
yeah, so, but there's not a lot of news out there about anything. And we're not going to get any news about the next season of Shadow and Bone if there will be one because of the writer's strike. And the longer that takes,
Yeah.
the less likely I think we're going to have something.
Yeah.
So
I hope y'all have got like books like ready to read because there's going to come a point to where we're not going to get any new
I mean, we
shows
haven't had
or movies or anything because of the strike. There's going to be a long pause of like new visual media. So I hope y'all got books ready to go.
They've got us too, because we'll figure out something. But yeah, it's this writer strike is like, I mean, and what sucks is I hate how it really is affecting the entertainment industry in itself. I mean, it really does affect the fact that new shows can come out. I mean, literally, the longer this strike goes on, the less likely we are going to be able to get another season because it needed to happen fairly soon for them to at least okay it. You know, I mean, I just feel like the longer it goes, the less likely that is. Now, that's not to say that maybe in a couple years from now, someone reboots and like is like, hey, let's do it. But
we shall see.
We shall. Okay, well, it's been wonderful. Thanks for letting us jabber in your ear, and thank you for listening to it. If anybody's still listening, you know, I mean, of course they are. Hopefully. Anyways, it's been a fun episode. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah. So next week, chapters 45 to the end of the book. Mm-hmm. And if you want to share with us what you would have, what title you would have liked to have taken if you made a descent to hell, love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So, but I'm the prince, and Terry's the soldier. Wait, everybody. Anyways, okay. Well, we love you all. See you all next week. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like, we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A plus.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our amazing staff, Chris, Michelle, Alex, Brenda.
Love you all.